Hi everyone, welcome back to Design Craft channel. Today we're going to crochet BT21 and the character in this video is Cooky. This BT21 series is actually something I've crocheted before. This time, I've made a few small changes to the pattern to make Cooky look more balanced and detailed. In this video, I'll be showing you how to crochet Cooky's full body from start to finish in one complete video, so you don't need to switch between multiple parts. I've also added clear audio instructions, guiding you through each step slowly, which makes it much easier to follow along, especially if you like listening while crocheting. If you're a crochet lover and a BT21 fan, this is definitely a project you won't want to miss. Before we start, here are the tools you'll need for this video. You'll need 4-ply cotton yarn, a 2.5mm crochet hook, a yarn needle, scissors, and stuffing material. You also need a 4mm eye bead and 4mm nose bead. Once you have everything ready, we can start crocheting from the head. Pick up the pink yarn and make a knot in a magic ring. Into the magic ring, work 6 single crochets. I like to use the X stitch, which is the yarn under method. It helps keep your stitches nice and straight so they don't slant while you're working. Next, pull the yarn tail tightly to close the ring. Then, make a slip stitch into the first stitch to end the round. You can place a stitch marker in the first stitch to help you keep track of your rounds. For round 1, start with 1 chain. Then work an increase in every stitch, which means 2 single crochets in each stitch. By the end of this round, you'll have 12 stitches. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch. For round 2, start with 1 chain. Then work 1 single crochet. Followed by 1 increase. Repeat this sequence 6 times. You should have 18 stitches in total. Finish the round with a slip stitch. Remember to end each round with a slip stitch. And start each round with one chain. We'll repeat this method at the start and end of every round. For round 3, start with one chain. Then work one increase. Followed by 2 single crochets. Repeat this sequence 6 times. By the end of this round, you'll have 24 stitches. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch. For round 4, start with one chain. Work 3 single crochet. Followed by one increase. Repeat this sequence 6 times. By the end of the round, you'll have a total of 30 stitches. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch. For rounds 5 and 6, continue following the pattern to increase as instructed. Make sure to keep your stitch count correct in each round and finish every round with a slip stitch before moving on to the next one. Take your time here. These increases help shape the head nicely. For rounds 7 to 12, start each round with one chain, then work one single crochet in every stitch all the way around. You'll have a total of 42 stitches in each round. Finish each round with a slip stitch to close it. Next, insert the 4mm eye beads between rounds 9 and 10. Leave about 4 stitches between the 2 eyes so they're evenly spaced. Once the eyes are in place, position the nose between rounds 10 and 11, right in the center between both eyes. Once you've confirmed the placement, secure the beads with a lighter, melt the ends slightly, and flatten them to make sure they stay in place safely. For round 13, start with one chain, work 5 single crochet, followed by one invisible decrease. To make an invisible decrease, insert your hook into the front loops of the next 2 stitches, yarn under and pull through, then yarn under again and pull through all loops on your hook. Repeat this sequence 6 times. By the end of the round, you'll have a total of 36 stitches. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch. For rounds 14 and 15, continue following the pattern as written. Work carefully and keep your stitch count consistent before moving on to the next step. The invisible decrease helps the stitches blend in smoothly, so you don't see a gap or a bump. Next, let's fill Cooky with polyester fiber. Add the stuffing gradually so you can shape the head and body evenly. Make sure it's soft but firm, giving Cooky a nice plump look. Continue following the written pattern from round 16 to 18. Fill the polyester fiber little by little as you go. This will help Cooky's head keep it shaped nicely and look neat. Make sure the stuffing is evenly distributed so the head stays round and soft. Once you're done, cut the yarn and pull it through. Then use a yarn needle to weave through all the front loops and close the hole neatly. And just like that, the base of Cooky's head is done. Next, let's crochet Cooky's ears. Pick up the pink yarn and make a knot in a magic ring. Into the magic ring, work 6 single crochets. Next, pull the yarn tail tightly to close the ring. Then, make a slip stitch into the first stitch to end the round. You can place a stitch marker in the first stitch to help you keep track of your rounds. For round 1, start with 1 chain. Then work an increase in every stitch. By the end of this round, you'll have 12 stitches. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch. For round 2, start with 1 chain. Then work 5 single crochet. In the 5th stitch, change the white yarn on the last yarn under and pull through. This helps create a smooth color transition. Next, Work 2 single crochet with the white yarn. On the second white stitch, you'll need to change to pink yarn. Here's a tip to keep the color change neat. Place the yarn tail at the front of your hook, then insert into the 2 loops, yarn under, and pull through. Next, change to pink yarn, yarn under and pull through to complete the stitch. Then, continue working the remaining 5 single crochet with the pink yarn. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch to close the round. For rounds 3 to 6, start each round with 1 chain, work 5 single crochet in pink, in the 5th stitch, place the yarn tail at the front of your hook, insert into the 2 loops, yarn under and pull through. Next, change to white yarn, yarn under, and pull through to complete the stitch. Then, continue working 3 single crochet with the white yarn. On the 3rd white stitch, place the yarn tail at the front of your hook, insert into the 2 loops, yarn under, and pull through. Change back to pink yarn. Yarn under, and pull through to complete the stitch. Finally, continue working the remaining 4 single crochet with pink yarn. When you work up to round 6, you'll start to see how neat and smooth your color changes are, with clean stitch lines throughout. For round 7, start with 1 chain, work 5 single crochet in pink, use the same color change technique to switch to white yarn. With the white, work 1 invisible decrease and 1 single crochet. Then switch back to pink yarn and work 4 single crochet. Finish the round with a slip stitch to end. By the end of this round, you'll have a total of 11 stitches. Work another ear using the same pattern. Make sure it matches the first ear in size and color placement. Next, let's move on to crocheting Cooky's body. We'll start from the leg section and work our way up. Make a knot in a magic ring. Then work 5 single crochets into it. Pull the yarn tail tight to close the ring, and finish the round with a slip stitch. For round 1, start with 1 chain, then work an increase in every stitch. Finish the round with a slip stitch and you'll have 10 stitches. For rounds 2 to 3, start with a chain, then work single crochet in every stitch. Finish each round with a slip stitch. Now, make another leg using the same pattern but don't cut the yarn. Now, join the 2 legs by making a slip stitch into the other leg. For round 4, start with 1 chain, then work single crochet in every stitch around. You'll work 10 single crochets in the first leg. And continue around the second leg for a total of 20 stitches. Finish the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch. For rounds 5 to 9, start each round with 1 chain, then work single crochet in every stitch all the way around. Keep repeating this for each round to build up the body evenly. For round 10, start with 1 chain, then work 2 single crochets, followed by 1 invisible decrease. Repeat this sequence 5 times. By the end of the round, you'll have a total of 15 stitches. Finish with a slip stitch to end the round. Once you've finished, cut the yarn, but make sure to leave enough yarn to join the body to the head later. Pick your white yarn and let's embroider a heart shape on Cookie's back. Start between rounds 5 and 6, first by stitching a V shape. Continue stitching V shapes along the lines, and gradually you'll see the V's form into a complete heart. Take your time to keep the stitches even and neat, and your heart will look perfect on Cooky's back. Next, let's crochet Cooky's hands. Pick up the white yarn, make a knot in a magic ring, then work 5 single crochets into it. Pull the yarn tail tight to close the ring. And finish the round with a slip stitch. For round 1, start with 1 chain, then work 1 single crochet followed by 1 increase. Repeat this sequence again. And in the last stitch, work 1 single crochet. Finish the round with a slip stitch. You'll have a total of 7 stitches. For round 2, pick up the pink yarn. In this round, we'll work single crochet using 2 yarn colors to create a clean and neat color change. First, yarn over and pull through with the pink yarn, then make a chain and gently pull the white yarn tight to secure it. Insert your hook into both loops, yarn under and pull through with the white yarn. Switch back to pink yarn, yarn under and pull through to complete the stitch. Repeat this same method for every single crochet around the round. At the end, make a slip stitch into the first stitch using pink yarn. Once that's done, you can cut off the white yarn as it's no longer needed. For round 3 to 5, start with a chain, then work single crochet in every stitch. Finish each round with a slip stitch. Now, make another hand using the same pattern. Now let's crochet the cheeks. Pick a pink yarn. Make a knot in a magic ring. Then work 7 single crochets into the ring. Pull the yarn tail tight to close the ring. Remember, left enough yarn for sewing later. Use a yarn needle to pass through from the second stitch to the last stitch to end the round. Make 2 cheek pieces using the same pattern. Now we've completed all the parts. Let's join everything together. First, pick up the ears and sew them onto the top of the head, starting from the magic ring down to round 4. For a clean finish, use pink yarn to sew the pink part and white yarn to sew the white part. Once both ears are attached, gently bend one ear down and secure it in place to give Cooky his cute signature pose. Next, sew the cheeks onto both sides of the face. Position them between rounds 10 to 13, making sure they're evenly placed on both sides. Secure them firmly, then hide the yarn tails neatly inside the head. Next, pick the black yarn and embroider the eyebrows above the eyes, between rounds 7 and 8. Take your time to keep both eyebrows even and balanced. After that, embroider the mouth shape. Here's a small tip for creating a nice curved mouth. Once you're happy with the curve, apply a tiny amount of glue to the yarn, then let it dry completely. This will help the mouth hold its curved shape nicely. Next, join the body and the head together. Position the body correctly, Then sew it onto the head around round 17. Make sure it's centered and secure before tightening the stitches so Cooky stands nicely once finished. Then, sew both hands on each side of the body at the last round. And there you have it. The baby version of Cooky is complete. If you want to add Cooky's tail, pick the pink yarn and make 6 single crochet into a magic ring. Pull the ring tight to close it, then fasten off, leaving a long tail for sewing. Attach the tail to the back of the body around rounds 5 to 6 and secure it neatly. And for the normal Cooky, the eyebrows have a slightly different shape. Use your black yarn to embroider the eyebrows according to the shape, making sure they match the character's expression. And that's it for today's video. Our BT21 Cooky is now complete, cute, full-bodied, and ready to display or gift. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any future videos. In the next video, we'll be crocheting Baby Koya, so stay tuned and grab your yarn and hook. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next crochet project.